Erik wants to start working out. He's been thinking about it for months. He's watched videos, read articles, planned the perfect routine. But every time he thinks about actually going to the gym, he freezes. I don't feel confident enough yet, he tells himself. I'll start when I feel ready. He's waiting for something that only comes after he starts. I'm Liam, and I've got your raw daily fuel for today. Listen carefully, you don't need confidence to start. Confidence is an outcome, not a prerequisite. You're not supposed to feel confident before you begin. You're supposed to feel confident after you've done the thing repeatedly. Confidence is what you build, not what you wait for. Today we're talking about why you don't need confidence, you need a start line, and how that start line is something you construct with tiny actions, not something you stumble across when you finally feel ready. Here's what most people don't understand. Confidence is an outcome, not a prerequisite. It's the result of repeated action, not the requirement for beginning. When you're waiting to feel confident before you start, you're waiting for something that can only come from starting. It's circular logic that keeps you stuck forever. Think about anything you're confident doing now. Driving a car, making coffee, walking, having a conversation. Were you confident the first time you did those things? No. You were terrified, awkward, uncertain, but you did them anyway. And after the 10th time, the 100th time, the 1000th time, confidence arrived. Not before the action, after it. In Sweden, we understand something about building. You don't wait for the perfect conditions to lay the foundation. You start with what you have, where you are, and you build systematically. Confidence works the same way. You don't find it, you construct it piece by piece through repeated action. Start lines are built with tiny actions repeated. This is the mechanical truth most people miss. You're not looking for a grand starting moment where everything feels right and you feel confident and motivated and ready. You're building a start line with the smallest possible action you can take today, and then taking that action again tomorrow and the day after. A start line isn't something you discover, it's something you build. One push-up today, another push-up tomorrow, another the day after. By day 7, you've done 7 push-ups. That's not a workout plan, that's a start line. You've created the momentum that makes everything else possible. Most people are trying to build the entire house before they lay the first brick. They want the perfect routine, the ideal time, the optimal conditions, the confident feeling. Meanwhile, the person who just did 1 push-up yesterday and 1 today is ahead of them, because they've started building. Make it easy to begin, then earn intensity. This is Swedish engineering applied to fitness. You don't design a system that requires maximum effort from day 1. That system will fail. You design a system that makes beginning so easy, it feels almost silly, and then you earn the right to make it harder through consistent completion. Start with what's easy enough that you'll actually do it. 1 push-up, a 5-minute walk, 3 squats. It doesn't matter if it feels too easy. Easy is the point. Easy gets done. Easy builds the start line. Easy creates the habit that allows for hard later. Most people fail because they start too hard. They design a routine that requires heroic levels of motivation and discipline, and they last 3 days before burning out. The person who starts with 1 push-up and adds 1 more each week will still be doing push-ups a year from now. The person who tried to do 100 on day 1 will have quit by day 4. Track participation, not perfection. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. They measure results instead of actions. They track weight loss, muscle gain, performance improvements. When those don't show up immediately, they think they're failing and they quit. But the only metric that matters in the beginning is, did you show up? Did you do the tiny action you committed to? That's the measurement. Not how it felt, not what result it produced, not whether you did it perfectly, just did you participate? In Stockholm, we track what we can control. You can't control whether you lose weight this week. You can't control whether your first workout feels good. You can't control whether you build muscle immediately. But you can control whether you did 1 push-up today. Track that. Because participation is what builds the start line, and the start line is what creates everything else. You only fail when you stop starting. This is the truth that changes everything. Having a bad day isn't failure. Doing 1 push-up instead of 10 isn't failure. Taking a rest day isn't failure. Missing a workout isn't failure. Failure only happens when you stop starting. When you decide that because you missed 2 days, the whole thing is over. When you convince yourself that imperfect action isn't worth doing. When you quit showing up entirely. The person who does 1 push-up, misses 3 days, does another push-up, misses 2 more days, then does 2 push-ups, hasn't failed. They're still starting. They're still building the start line. They're still creating momentum. The only way to fail is to stop trying to start. Here's your challenge for this week, and it's going to build your start line. Choose the smallest possible fitness action you can take. 1 push-up, 1 squat, a 2-minute walk, Something so small it feels almost ridiculous. Do that tiny action every day this week. Don't add to it. Don't make it harder. Don't judge whether it's enough. Just do it. Track participation only. Did you do it today? Yes or no? By the end of the week, you'll have a 7-day start line. That's 7 consecutive days of proof that you're someone who shows up. That's the foundation for everything else. That's confidence under construction. You'll discover something powerful. You didn't need to feel confident to begin. You needed a start line simple enough to build, regardless of how you felt. And once you've built that start line, confidence follows naturally. Not because you waited for it, but because you constructed it through repeated action. When you don't feel ready, start anyway with the smallest action. When you don't feel confident, build confidence through repetition. When you don't know how to begin, make beginning so easy you can't fail to do it. I'm Liam, and that's your raw daily fuel for today. Remember, confidence is an outcome, not a prerequisite. Build your start line one tiny action at a time.